Hey, Cam here, just come back from epic skate at my local bowl, and I'm still wearing all my pads. Obviously I'm a bit sweaty, hot and sweaty too. It's very cold here in New Zealand at the moment. It's the middle of winter, which is why I've been skating in my new Lykmynds hoodie that Lykmynds gave me. Thanks so much, guys. It's so nice. It's awesome. As you've probably seen, if you watch any of my videos, I always wear all the pads. I'm a 51-year-old aging skateboarder, and I'm trying to stay in the game as long as I can. I'm trying to stay injury free as much as possible. There's a bit of a culture in skateboarding where it's not that cool to wear pads. I kind of think that's stupid, especially the helmets. But also, like, I'm, at my age, I'm not really that cool anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't worry about it too much. But I thought if you're an older person starting skateboarding, or if you're getting back into skateboarding, I thought I'd talk to you about what pads I use and why. Perhaps the most important, this is debatable, knee pads or helmet. First, equal in importance, I would say, are knee pads. For me, obviously you want to protect your noggin. That's really important. That's the most important thing to protect. But for me, skating bowls and vert, knee pads kind of come first, because I can't do it without knee pads. If you've watched me skate, I knee slide out of everything. All my bails are knee slides. That's my safety net. That's how I jump out of a trick. I would never skate a vert ramp without knee pads, and I invest decent amount into my knee pads, so I get the best knee pads I can find. For me, that is these 187 Pro knee pads, and I'll show you. They're the best pads I've used. They are like landing on cushions of air. They're so thickly padded. I haven't tried the cheaper versions of these, the Fly Knees or even the Pro Derbies. The Pro Derbies look all right. They look pretty much the same, but I have read they're a little bit thinner. They may be a slightly cheaper option. These pads are not particularly cheap, but for me they're worth every cent. This is my second pair. My first pair lasted me a long time, 10 years. The one issue I had with them was that they would slide down my knee sometimes. I wore knee gaskets to try and help prevent that. Not expensive ones. These are just neoprene from a big sports shop. They gave me a little bit of extra support. They seem to help my pads stay on a bit. But I've found when I got this new pair that one of the problems was that I was using mediums, which is what the 187 chart says I should have, and I found them a bit small actually, and so I've gone up to L's, and they fit so much better. They don't slide off. They're great. So my advice, if you are getting 187 Pro knee pads and you're sort of in between sizes on the chart, go up a size, because they're more comfortable and they stay on better. So that's those. First, equal in importance as well as knee pads, is obviously the helmet. You want to protect your head. I've had this helmet a long time. It was a birthday present from my brother. It's always been a little bit too big for me, and that's why I wear a headband, which looks super cool, like Per Welander. But also, it absorbs some of the sweat, but the main thing is it makes my helmet fit better. So that is the reason for that, really. But this is a ProTech helmet, pretty old school. It's the best one I've had. It's a good idea to get a certified grade helmet. You'll probably get the best protection you can get. Your head's really super important. I probably need a new one. Under this sticker, this wicked Lykmynds sticker, there are some paint marks from a bowl where I've smacked my head, and it just goes to show how important the helmet is. So definitely get yourself a helmet. Don't worry if it's not cool. It's better to be uncool and not a vegetable than a cool vegetable. Wrist guards. I have a love-hate relationship with the wrist guards. Two of my biggest injuries that I've done skateboarding have involved my shoulder, and both times they have come from putting my hand out while wearing wrist guards and sliding up a ramp. And I dislocated my shoulder really badly doing that, coming down a ramp, putting my hands down to stop myself and sliding, which is why I put a little bit of grip tape on all my wrist guards. Have little bits of grip tape on them to stop them from sliding too fast. So I find that helps me. That's why mine have grip tape there. For a long time I didn't wear wrist guards for that reason, but I've gone back to wrist guards. Last year I was touring a lot with my band, and playing guitar, and I did not want to hurt my wrists. So I went back to wrist guards. I've been through a few. I've been through the cheap 187 ones. This is your basics wrist guard. They're fine, they work, but there are better ones. I follow a guy called Hester. G'day Neil, on YouTube, and he has got a lot of insight into pads. Go, if you haven't checked out Neil's channel, he's a fellow middle-aged shredder, and he's got an awesome channel, so go check out his channel. But he's done a lot on wrist guards. I'm just going to get my hat. He's done a lot on wrist guards. He introduced me to these flex meter ones, which are hard out. They are designed by a surgeon to stop you from breaking your wrists. And I managed to find these on Amazon, and they are quite long. They go quite far up your wrist, but they are great, and they make me feel so safe. I highly recommend these if you can find them. They are my favorite wrist guards. Flex meter, what are they called? D30. So yeah, I managed to get those from Amazon, and the thingamajigamy said, the chart said I should be an L. They didn't have an L, so I took a risk and I got an M, and they fit fine. And they're quite stretchy, so you probably don't have to worry about getting an exact fit. But those are amazing wrist guards. Neil also recently did a video on these wrecked wrist guards, which are a copy of 187s that are also a copy of somebody else's. I'll put in writing the original ones because I can't remember right this second. Based on Neil's video, I got my local skate shop, Seaside Skates, to get in these wrecked, because I saw that they did the wrecked knee pads and wrecked elbow pads, but they didn't have the wrist guards, and they were kind enough to give me a pair to try, and they've been awesome, amazing quality. As Neil said on his video, these are amazing value for money, these wrecked guards. They just seem to be, they're probably better quality than the 187 ones, and they're quite a bit cheaper. And they're a good style of guard. They're not too rigid at the top, and they're not quite as long as the flex meters, which go quite a way up your arm. So these are a little bit more discreet, I guess, and they've been really good. I really like those. So thanks heaps to Seaside Skates for those. I think if push comes to shove, I'd probably bet my life on my wrists on the flex meters first. Those are really good. Elbow pads. For a long time I didn't wear any elbow pads. I didn't really see the point, and then, as you do, I whacked my elbow on a coping a couple of times, got some big bruises, and thought maybe I should wear elbow pads. So now I wear elbow pads. Believe it or not, you can't see them, but they're there. I'll just take off this awesome Lykmynds hoodie. Such a beautiful hoodie. In these skate clips I'm wearing, it's the same deal. I've got the elbow pads on under the hoodie, as you can see. So elbow pads, I don't worry about them too much. I just realized when I took my Lykmynds hoodie off, I also took my microphone off, so that situation has been erected. Where was I? Elbow pads. For a long time I didn't bother wearing elbow pads. I didn't really see the point. It didn't seem to hurt my elbows an awful lot. And then of course I did. I knocked my elbows on some coping a couple of times. Thought maybe I should get some elbow pads. So I don't invest huge amounts into elbow pads. I just get basic ones. I don't like them when they stick out too much. I think the 187 ones stick out quite a lot. So I've just got these ones. They are from a brand called Bont, which I think is a roller derby brand. Seaside Skates, who look after me a lot, they do quite a lot of roller derby stuff, as well as skateboarding and scooter stuff. Check them out, by the way, seasideskates.co.nz. And they're neoprene, which means that they stay on quite securely. I don't really even have to take the Velcro off when I put them on. I just slip them on, which is really good, and they give me enough protection just from a couple of bumps and knocks and bumps and stuff. They weren't too expensive. The one thing is with the neoprene, they are a bit hot, which is fine in the winter. It's winter now, it's cold. I don't mind them being warm, but in the summer they get a bit hot. So that is the one downside to these ones. And that's about it, except for one more. As I mentioned in my last video, recently my brother injured his hip very badly. We were skating at my local bowl. My brother's a great extreme sports athlete. He's a former snowboard instructor and a current surf instructor, at least he was, and a good skateboarder. He's been skateboarding since the mid-80s, same as me. We've always skateboarded together, and he was just doing a basic axle stall in the shallow end of the pool, something he's done a million times before, and he just hung up and went straight to his hip, slammed on his hip, broke his hip, got 3 screws in a plate, and reckons he's done with skateboarding. And I can't say I blame him. I was very spooked after this happened. I didn't want to skate, and when I did skate, I was very tentative about it. So I decided after seeing that, because I was the one that had to get him to the hospital and try and get him out of the bowl, which was quite a drama. No ladders inside the bowl. And so I decided to invest in some hip pads. And again, Neil Hester, who I follow, he has done a thing on hip pads, and he settled on these ones. They're called Body Procs, and I managed to find some on Amazon, and they've been really good. Just I haven't slammed on them a whole bunch of times, but I won't go skateboarding without them now after what happened to my brother. Do you want to see them? Or is that a bit risque? Will I get banned from YouTube if I take my pants off? Here you go. Put your pants back on, Cam. Okay. Too old to be taking your clothes off on YouTube. So those are all the pads I wear pretty much whenever I go skating now. I mean, sometimes if I'm on a mini ramp, a wooden mini ramp especially, I won't bother with everything. I'll probably just wear hip pads and maybe wrist guards because I'm not going to be knee sliding out, so that doesn't matter so much. But for all the bowl stuff, and especially vert stuff, but concrete bowls and that, I don't skate without pads now. And I'll just wear, I don't care if it's cool, whatever. Most people I talk to just think it's cool that I skateboard at my age, so I don't think anybody cares. I don't care. So get a helmet, get knee pads, elbow pads, probably optional, wrist guards, get wrist guards. But watch out for that slidey thing that they do. And that's it. That's all about pads. I hope that helps. If you're looking for pads, I hope that gives you some idea of what to get, what you need. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.